I mean, look how far offside Gakpo is. It's Florian Wirtz. He's the only player who wants this ball. And this, I think, comes from the coach, who was on Semenyo. You see, he doesn't know where to go. Right, hello everybody, welcome back to the Golden Sky. I'm Tom. Today, it is the tactical analysis for Liverpool's 2-1 defeat to Man City. And this game, I want you to think of it like a story in a tactical analysis point of view. It really does read through the photos today like a storybook. So let's get into it and talk you through everything you need to know from this game. Alright, so what do I mean in the intro there by this is going to be like a storybook? Well, I believe that as we go through the photos of this game, you will understand exactly what I'm talking about. Watch how the game ebbs and flows from one side's momentum to another, and it's all in the changes in momentum in the game are both driven from that and driven by that as well. You'll see as I talk through. So the game starts off with the story of the first half, really. Alisson's on the ball. He's just behind my head there. And this is Liverpool trying to play out from the back, trying to establish some ground in the game really, really early on. You see City are not really showing us that much respect. Anfield pushing on, as you would expect, with two up front, Marmoush and Haaland. And then the midfield, Semenyo, obviously a bit of a wide player, but the midfielders all pushing on. Rodri as well, nice and high. So Alisson tries to clip this ball up the line. It ends up here, falling at the feet, at the head of Ryan Nori, who's completely unchallenged. Bit of a poor kick from Alisson, but we struggled with building up again in this match, which is no surprise. This has been a theme of Liverpool's season the entire year. We are not very good at building up. I've said this in pretty much every single analysis video, and you'll see it more in this one. So City head the ball, and then we see a bit of confusion in the middle, and this was sort of a sign of things to come in this game. Liverpool are in the 4-3-3, so the midfield three was these three here: Gravenberch, McAllister, and Wirtz. All three of them stood, you could throw a blanket on top of them there in the middle, and two of them go for the same header. This has got to be McAllister's ball. He has to tell Wirtz to get out of the way. It's got to be McAllister's, but they get in each other's way, and City break with it. Bernardo Silva has the ball, and now all that midfield three is out of the game immediately. We've got no one with the discipline to sit in front of the back line. There's been calls I've been seeing this week for Slot to, maybe try some different things with his team, because we know how stubborn he is and that he won't do it. And a few of those things have been just to play Endo as a holding midfielder. Now, we all know Endo isn't amazing, sure, but we all saw Endo play against prime Rodri and a not so far off his prime Kevin De Bruyne at Anfield not so long ago under Klopp and bossed the midfield. We watched that happen. Would he be able to protect this area of the pitch better? I think absolutely he would. I've also seen cries for Calvin Ramsey to play, and I can't believe I actually agree with this. Szoboszlai, obviously in this game, he has a great game, and we'll talk more about Szoboszlai later as the video goes on, but whilst he's not a bad right back, he's much better, obviously, in the middle. And with McAllister's lack of legs, you're going to see a lot in this game. Szoboszlai being in here definitely helps. And playing Ramsey at right back, yes, he might not be Premier League level, sure, but he is a natural right back. And you know who else wasn't Premier League level? Reece Williams and Nat Phillips. And they played a third of a season for us, and we were so much better as a result of it that season when they got us up to third. There's no way that Ramsey can be worse than what we play like anyway. So there are a few things to keep in mind, but City take advantage of this space. Bernardo Silva, who I don't like very much at all, but he was excellent in this game, finds the pass through to Haaland, and Alisson comes out and makes the save. Kirkers manages to put him off just a little bit. Good on Kirkers following this in, because Alisson saves it, and Kirkers again competes with Haaland and stops the rebound going in. All of Liverpool's team just sitting on the edge of the box watching the game. It's baffling, really. Kirkers manages to get rid of it. And then we see what were really our best moments in the first half. So this is the first time City played out with the goalkeeper, and you're going to see them work Liverpool out here. Again, just follow the story as I present it to you here. So Donnarumma's getting the ball, Ekitike's pressing, and Liverpool pressed lined up defensively in a 4-4-2. But right here, it's a little bit out of position with some of the players. You see Gakpo's in the middle and Wirtz is out wide. that was kind of swapped. It was more of a 4-4-2 with Ekatike and Wirtz as a front two, and you'll see that in more photos, but just bear with me for a second. We actually pressed quite well here. We end up forcing Gehi to go all the way back across to Kusanov, and we're a good pressure. Gakpo's nice and high on Bernardo Silva. McAllister stops this pass coming into Rodri under, no pressure at all. The ball goes to Kusanov. It's a little bit of a bad pass from Gehi. He just about keeps it in. See Ekatike now, shuttle running across over to this side. McAllister goes and presses the goalkeeper where the ball goes. Rodri can't get it because he's behind McAllister. Salah's ready to jump on Gehi. Gakpo's still jumping on Bernardo Silva. And look at this one. This one's interesting. Kirkez, you'll notice this more and more, followed Antoine Semenyo the entire first half. Man marked him, man to man. You'll see that. He followed him everywhere he went. And City, for the first point in the game, didn't really know how to get out. They do get out eventually, but it's a little bit close for comfort. Donnarumma does play this ball to Kusanov, and then he gets his pass attempt blocked by Ekatike. Liverpool have squoze really well, managed to win the ball off City. Goes to the touchline, and Ekatike also gets his foot in front and gets to this ball, manages to sort of square it across the box towards Mo Salah, but he isn't able to get on the end of it. Good pressure though from us, and City took a second to work out how to get past us in this press. This was, like I said, the first instance. Look how high Van Dijk is following Haaland. Kirkez, I don't know why he's got his hands up. He's just doing some Y posing for. That's just Kirkez, in it. You can never be sure what the guy will do. He's a complete honey badger out there on the pitch. But we win. We force City into a mistake. Is the point of this, and then we see City's high line. So this is why Liverpool struggled so much with build-up in this game. More than, well, we struggle a lot, but in this game in particular why we struggled. You see how high City are when we've got the ball. But this is the full distance between the two sides' defences. It's not very big at all. When you've got Florian Wirtz, who wants to get on the ball in basically this area, now you might think there's loads of space here in this instance, and maybe in this photo there is, but this space was not very often available to Florian Wirtz, and Liverpool could not get him the ball in the first half in that area. I don't think we got it to him once, and he couldn't get near it. Rodri just followed him all around. Obviously, Rodri's an excellent player, and we struggled. City's high line didn't give him any space to stretch the game. We couldn't get the ball over the top. We try here. Szoboszlai finds Kirkez. It's a good ball, but look at City. They're actually not even dropping off. They're doing the total opposite. They're all coming this way. All the defenders are running towards Kirkez. They know they're not worried about Kirkez running round and running to goal. They know he's got to look for a pass. I mean, look how far offside Gakpo is. Look how far offside he is. He's in a different stratosphere. He might as well be on Jupiter compared to this. He's miles offside. Kirkez has to try and work something. So he runs inside, and now you see City have all stepped forward again. Rodri's appealing for offside before anything's even happened. But look, Ekatike, Salah, Gakpo, all miles offside. There's nothing we could have done. Well, nothing Kirkez could have done, to get this ball to any of these players. City just played him offside, really confident. Talked about this in the preview. Back to the high line, and we couldn't work it out in the first half. We couldn't get Wirtz on the ball. And that was why we had such little possession. We just kept surrendering it. City were able to get on the ball. And now we see City a little bit more settled into the game. They've had one look at our press and our shape, and they basically figured us out in one go. And we see here exactly an example of that. So Donnarumma has the ball. Wirtz is pressing. He's under a bit of pressure. But Rodri is the best in the world at doing this. When he receives this ball, he's under a lot of pressure from Ekatike and Wirtz. He takes one touch, and then out of his feet, under pressure, finds Kusanov and just alleviates City of all that pressure. We've forced players forwards. McAllister's in a good spot. Gakpo, I don't really understand this position. He's maybe doing what Kirkez would be doing, because you'll see more and more Kirkez is just following Semenyo round all half. Kirkez has pushed on in this instance. Salah's in a good spot. Gravenberch is nice and tight, but Rodri just breaks the game wide open. And that's the difference between the first passage play I showed you and this one. You see the story flowing of City being able to work out how Liverpool set up. Now Kusanov has the ball, and Liverpool are basically dead at this point. They've put all that, the players have committed forwards to the press. City have broke that first line, and now they push Liverpool back and enter Liverpool territory with this crossfield pass to Reinhard Nori. He has time to bring it down his chest. You see Liverpool's midfield is not really in the right position. And Salah, defending as a right midfielder, he's never making up this ground. He doesn't even get close ever, really. And you see Szoboszlai, he's stuck. He doesn't know whether to go over here or whether to drop off and deal with Marmoush. He's stuck in between, and he doesn't do either, really. So Aït-Nouri has the time to bring it down, and suddenly City have gained territory in the pitch. So from the goalkeeper, just a few passes, they've been able to, push us back. And this is how they had so much possession in the first half. They were super confident on the ball. After that first instance of us trying to press, we couldn't get near them one time. We don't press well enough as a unit. We don't, force a team to one side and then make them play a ball down a channel that we could then win. We don't force traps like that. We just kind of run after players in an attempted man-to-man sort of system. But here we see City in now the middle phase of the pitch, really. And I want you to look at Liverpool's midfield. This is where it goes wrong for us here. So it's a 4-4-2, right? So I know Salah's a little bit further forward, but this is the 4-4-2 that we played in. Now, when you look at this picture, no one's in a really, really bad position from Liverpool's point of view. Szoboszlai's over here with Marmoush. Gravenberch has got O'Reilly. Wirtz is on Rodri. Salah, you could say, is on Aït-Nouri. Ekitike's fine. And then Gakpo and McAllister are in decent enough positions. But Gakpo is telling McAllister, he's saying, look, you've got to get on Semenyo now. I've been with him. I'm getting out now. You've got to get on Semenyo. So look at the confusion it causes from these players moving around. O'Reilly, as well, is going to make a little burst towards the ball, and Gravenberch is going to follow him. Now, whether that's the right thing to do or not, I'll let you be the judge. Because O'Reilly makes that run to the ball. You see Gakpo's jumped onto Bernardo Silva. McAllister's moved onto Semenyo, and all of a sudden, City have just, with this little jump from O'Reilly, they've now got a spare man. Marmoush drops off into the middle. Szoboszlai has to follow him. He finds this pass, and all of a sudden, Marmoush has time to play the ball out into Rodri, and he gets a shot. It's just very, very simple. A pass forwards into a front man, but Liverpool being pulled out of position in the midfield. We don't have a real set shape. We're not compact in there, and this deflected shot could have gone in on another day. Or, you could maybe find the ball to Haaland, something like that. We're just not secure enough, and I think that again comes back to the lack of having a holding midfielder, and also the fact that our right back is injured. Our backup right back in I guess you could say Bradley or Frimpong is injured. Our backup right back Joe Gomez is injured, and now our backup right back, who played well in this game, is suspended, and also a midfielder. So not the best situation to be in. And compare City's build-up here to Liverpool's build-up. So we're in a similar phase to the one that you just saw City, and let's see if I can pull the photo out. This one here. This is a similar phase here to Van Dijk on the ball. But look how impatient Liverpool are. First of all, I want you to notice Liverpool's middle of the pitch. Did you see how City's players were all nicely compact together? The distance is small. They can play interchangeable passes between one another. The only real pass Van Dijk has here is to Konate, who then can move it to Szoboszlai. And I think they should do this. But look at Gravenberch and McAllister. They don't show for the ball. They don't make little darts for it like O'Reilly does. They don't do this the whole game, really, especially the first half. And Van Dijk just pumps it long straight to Donnarumma. Now, Donnarumma catches this ball, and City can build up again. So now, again, you're going to see the 4-4-2 that we attempted to set up in. Wirtz and Ekitike lead in the press, and then the other four behind them. But again, City just find this way too easy to break through. This time, they go long to Haaland, and you're going to see why exactly they do this. With Kerkez following Semenyo, different method from City this time. They're not using Rodri, they're not going short, but with Kerkez following Semenyo in field, it creates this space for Haaland to run off the back line and force Van Dijk out of position. He's got the yardage on him to win this header. Good ball from Donnarumma to find him, and he just flicks this on into the space. Semenyo's already on his bike. Kerkez is in centre mid for some reason, and Semenyo ends up getting on this ball. Now, nothing comes of it, but I'm going to show you another example. I'm actually going to hide myself for this one because you need to see where Kerkez is with Semenyo. So right here, again, this is not a normal position for a left-back to be in. He's just following him all over the place, and it just causes chaos in Liverpool's setup. So look at Salah. I'll put myself back on the screen here. Hold on. Look at Salah as well. He's been pulled out of position, and the 4-4-2 is now, it's not anything. It's a 1, and then a very ziggity-zaggity 4. Kerkez is in the middle. McAllister's floating around running after Bernardo Silva, who just pulls him out of the middle, and you're going to see exactly why in the next clip. So Mateus Nunes gets this ball, and he just takes space. He just makes a run from right back all the way into the middle. Kerkez, who was on Semenyo, you see, he doesn't know where to go. He knows that he shouldn't really be in here, But now he's stuck. He's in a really weird position now, acting as a holding midfielder. McAllister's at right back because Bernardo Silva recognised the situation and just pulled him right away from midfield. They used our man-to-man method against us, really. They just pulled us apart, and Nunez just runs straight through. Salah's nowhere to be seen. This is the problem with us. This is the real analysis of this opening first half, is that we don't play as a team. We might have the idea, yeah, we're going to go man-to-man, we're going to be in a 4-4-2, but we don't really execute it well. Kirkers is going to follow Semenyo. Yeah, but why? I don't really understand the idea of this, because City just found it so easy to play through. Nunez plays this ball into Marmoush and he almost gets a goal from it. Compare this, again, to Liverpool's build-up from the back. So Alisson this time on the ball. And just watch Liverpool's midfielders. There's one player on this picture right now who wants this ball. Can you spot him? There's one in red who wants this ball. It's Florian Wirtz. He's the only player who wants this ball. Look at his movement. He's running from a number 10 position. You can see him moving into a position where maybe Alisson can find him with a pass. Maybe. Now, you don't want Wirtz in this first phase of build-up, but he is actually quite effective there. Szoboszlai's got his hands on his knees. Konaté's the obvious pass. And then McAllister just gives Alisson nothing. Gravenberch even less. He's hiding. There's no way Alisson can get the ball here. There's no way you can pass this ball to McAllister. It's too dangerous. Van Dijk's been cut off by Haaland. This is exactly what City did to us at the Etihad. They just force us to pass the ball to Konaté. They do it again here. So the ball goes to Konaté. It then goes to Szoboszlai, as we've seen. But where is Salah? Where is he? Well, he's tried to make a run over the top. City have the high line. He's tried to make a run over the top. And if this was Trent Alexander-Arnold, you might see this ball come, 50, 60 yards over the top of City's defence to Salah, a goal that we've seen many times. It doesn't happen in this situation. Maybe it's Salah's run. Maybe it's Szoboszlai not having the passing range of Trent, although he does have a very good passing range. But still, Liverpool don't really have an outball. Szoboszlai has nothing to hit down the line. The only real option he has is Gravenberch, but it's not really a safe pass, so he goes back. We end up back with Konaté, but that's fine. We're still just getting our foot on the ball. You don't need to go gung-ho all the time. McAllister's still not giving enough for Konaté. Gravenberch still not giving enough. They are actually being taken out of the game by one man, Bernardo Silva, who is an excellent presser. An excellent presser. He knows exactly where to be, exactly where to position his body. He stops both this pass and this pass to Gravenberch. It's really clever. Haaland's in the right area. He stops this ball coming to Van Dijk. Marmoush is killing this one. O'Reilly's nice and tight. And they've all got their eyes on Wirtz. There's nowhere for Konaté to go. No one makes movement. McAllister has to come over here. Van Dijk has to take Haaland right away. Gravenberch, can he make a dart into a more available area to receive the ball? Can Szoboszlai maybe take up some space up the line? There's loads of different options that we can do, but we just simply don't execute them. So the ball comes back to Alisson and he has to shuffle it onto Van Dijk. That's his only option. Van Dijk shuffles the ball straight back to Alisson. That's his only option. And again, we see Gravenberch has literally not moved, not even once during the whole passage of play here. McAllister is still stood behind Bernardo Silva. He's essentially just shading him wherever he goes. Wherever Bernardo Silva goes, you can be sure McAllister is like his shadow, is going to be right behind him. And Alisson, again, gives this ball to Konaté, who gives it to Szoboszlai. Again, the only player who wants this ball is Florian Wirtz. He's once again coming from a deep position to try and show for it. Szoboszlai tries to find him. He gets intercepted. It falls to Bernardo Silva. And City could really capitalise on these chances. They don't. Liverpool were very lucky not to go in behind at the half. Bernardo Silva could, pass this to Haaland. They could score. We managed to scramble it away. Here's what happens. So again, new part of the story now. So far, we pressed well the very first time. Since then, City figured us out. They were pressing, they were beating our press, no problem. And Liverpool can't play out from the back. That's the story so far. Now we get Florian Wirtz on the ball for basically the only time in the first half. He drops off from that middle area of the pitch. He comes to the left-hand side. Just watch what happens. Watch the difference here. City, very, very similar setup to the one we just seen. Bernardo Silva on McAllister, Haaland, forcing the ball wide. Konaté's got the ball. Liverpool matched up in the middle. Nowhere to really go. Except Wirtz has figured this out. He's come away from all this play in the middle. All of this where he just was. He's come right away from it and he wants the ball. Konaté gives him it. And he gets it. But Nunez comes to press him, but he's not close enough. And Wirtz takes one touch. And with one touch to kill it, the pass he produces goes straight through to Hugo Ekitike, and suddenly Liverpool have a 2v2 or a 3v3. It's brilliant from Wirtz. It's the only way that we ever get out is through him. And it really was the only time in the first half that we actually managed to build up whatsoever from the back. And it's not exactly through lots and lots of short passes. It's from just giving the ball to Wirtz. So, Ekitike didn't make anything of that chance, unfortunately, but we move on to the next clip. This is also why Liverpool couldn't really get anything going in that first half, why we really struggled to keep the ball, keep possession, why we were under so much pressure. Because when we did win it like this, look at how poor we are at keeping the ball. So Salah's got it this time, can we shield it, maybe win a free kick, maybe get Szoboszlai on the ball, maybe find Ekitike, something. You've got to do something. Maybe can you dribble up the line? Instead, no. He just loses the ball immediately, straight back to City. Haaland gets onto it. We get lucky. Konate manages to win this back. Now we've got it with Gravenberch. You're thinking, yes, here we go. Now we're out this time. Gravenberch has got it. He's got options, forwards. He can dribble with the ball. We're going to get out now. Nope. He gets immediately tackled, gives the ball straight to Aït-Nouri, and City get the ball with Marmoush. Again, we give the ball straight back. They were 2 times in 5 seconds that we gave the ball straight back to City. So we really struggled in that first half, and now you're going to see the second half, how different it was, how different Liverpool were, and how dead and buried City were. The story of this game just keeps going on and on, so keeps evolving. Donnarumma this time with the ball. We saw City a couple of times, I showed you, cut us apart from this position with the goalkeeper. This time, Wirtz is pressing Liverpool again in this 4-4-2. Very, very similar setup, but there's just a difference in intensity in our press and also a drop-off in City's quality. The ball comes to Gehi. He's not under that much pressure. Wirtz puts him under pressure, but Liverpool this time have funneled City into a much more difficult area to get out of. We've stopped really any way for City to get this ball into the middle. The only real option Gehi has is to go back, but he doesn't really want to do that. We've funneled them across. Look, all of our players have come into this channel to funnel them into here, and once they're here, they're trapped now. Gehi has to go long. Liverpool are much higher up the pitch. Konate and Van Dijk were really brave, went 1v1 with Marmoush and Haaland, and they won the battle for most of the game. You see, Kirkes is still man-to-man here. Szoboszlai was man-to-man, or at least pushed forward in this last clip. You see him on Nico O'Reilly. We win the ball back, and we managed to do this lots in the second half, and that got us a lot of territory. Now, could we build up from the back in the second half? Well, no, of course we couldn't. We didn't magically solve this issue. Alisson, again, on the ball. You see in our 2 midfielders not making any effort to make a run towards him and get on the ball. Konate's out of the game this time. So's Van Dijk. The only option is Szoboszlai. Alisson tries to float it over to him. He does get it, but he loses the ball. There's a few tackles that go in. It ends up with Aït-Nouri coming out with the ball, and he can find Marmoush. It ends up ricocheting to Semenyo, and he has a shot. And this is all from our own build-up again, guys. We're still stuck trying to build up. So Alisson gets the ball from this shot, and what does he decide to do? Well, forget building up. I'm kicking the ball long. And we go direct, and this is what we did against Newcastle. If you remember, I said we started to really play well because we started to go more direct, and we were able to get on second balls. There's 3 players back for City here after that attack, and we just don't waste any time. We kick the ball long. Yes, they win the header, but there's no way they can really go with it, and we get on the loose ball. Ekitike wins it. And now how Hugo Ekitike messes this attack up, I don't know. After such an amazing performance last time, this was... I don't know what happened. Like I said in the ratings, the spirit of Darwin Núñez really did seem to, take over his body here. First of all, he's got to give this ball to Wirtz. I mean, Wirtz is coming in. He's got to give it to him. He's got to lay it into his path. He can, maybe have a shot. He can maybe square it. He doesn't. He, for some reason, ends up giving it to Salah. But Salah produces a really nice cross with the outside of his foot. And Ekitike gets onto it for this. A free header. A golden chance. He tries to go back. He heads it so badly wrong, it actually ends up going back the way he came. He didn't even mean it to. I think he's trying to head it in this corner. It completely, skews off his head and goes wide, and it's a chance gone begging, a really good chance for us. But the good times continued for us in the second half. Now we saw City having to respect us a little bit more on the ball because of those chances we just caused from going more direct. Now they weren't able to throw as many bodies forward. If you look at them in the first half, where they had all those bodies forward onto us, Marmoush is nowhere to be seen here. There's only a couple of players forward in our when we've got the ball in our first phase. They're also not quite close enough. You see the distances are coming bigger as the teams get a bit more tired, or City especially got a bit more tired. And it looks for all the world like Konate is going to play this ball to Szoboszlai like he did a million times in the first half, but he actually plays a really nice pass. He cuts out that pass to the right back, and he goes straight to Gravenberch. Now, Nico O'Reilly wasn't expecting this, and Gravenberch can take the ball. And all of a sudden, for the first time in the game, we've made a pass forwards from the centre-backs. Gravenberch takes it on the turn, and we managed to gain ground. So Gakpo now gets the ball. He's running forward. We've got Kirkes as an option. Of course, Gakpo will never pass Kirkes the ball. Instead, he fires it into Ekitike, who makes a lovely little flick back to Vert, sets him perfectly for this shot, which, maybe can he put his laces through it and really fire it at this far corner? He tries to side foot it, and Gehi is able to get the block in. It's a good block, but good attacking play from us. And you see the story of the game developing. City are getting tired. Maybe the spaces are opening up. Liverpool have figured out how to play. They're having to respect us a bit more, maybe drop off with their high line a bit more. It's giving us more territory to build in. Now, City trying to build up from the back again. Liverpool pressing, as we've seen so many times in this game. But look how aggressive we are. The ball comes into the middle. This time, Gravenberch makes the tackle. We've got players around it. Look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players all around the ball trying to win it back. We're much more together as a unit. Gravenberch wins it. We're just much more aggressive, much more intent on winning the ball high of the pitch. Nothing came of that attack, but the point is still there. Now, this is the red card. Now, well, I say red card. This is the appeal for a red card. So Szoboszlai has the ball. He's going to play this one down the line to Salah. And then at this point, Mark Gehi pulls Salah back. It's just outside the box. Liverpool wanted a red card for denial of a goal-scoring opportunity. In my personal opinion, I think the referee, and this is going to be unpopular, gets this one right. Because Salah is running here. Sure, I understand you can obviously have a shot at the goal, but I think you've got Ruben Diaz is coming across, and he, as we all know, Salah wants to get on his left foot. Ruben Diaz is in a good spot to be able to stop Salah, taking that shot. It's not as if Salah's clean through with nobody else anywhere near. I think Diaz is in a decent enough area to stop this one being a red card. Now, if it was given, I wouldn't be all that surprised. I don't think it's blatantly obvious that it's not a red card, but that's just my opinion. More good play from us, though. And then Szoboszlai obviously knocks this one in. Now, I'm not going to analyse the free kick. There's nothing to really analyse here. It's just pure brilliance from Szoboszlai. But I did just put this photo in to show you just how far out he is. Maybe Donnarumma messed up by only having 2 in the wall. Well, actually, he definitely did. Not that it really would have mattered, though, because Szoboszlai just completely releases the Kraken on this, and it goes right in the top corner, and we took the lead. And you see, straight after the goal, the crowd was up, Liverpool were up. This is where we should have killed City off. And the story of the game has so far gone from us being really under pressure, not being able to solve City at all, City solving us instead in the first half, to us in the second half being much more intent on winning the ball, much more direct. Intensity to our game raised. City dropping off in their intensity levels, really struggling to get a foothold in the game. We score the goal. It looks like we're going to go on to win. And now here we are. Kirkes, Bernardo Silva, who was everywhere in that first half, completely owning the game. Kirkes just runs straight past him, leaves him on his arse. They look at City, they were done. They were absolutely dead and buried. Kirk has loads of space. Suddenly, look at all the space we've got. Gakpo can be found. He gets loads of space. Szoboszlai, loads of space. Gravenberch, space. There's space for Salah. The space is all over the pitch. City are 9 points behind Arsenal at this point in time if the game finished like this. The heads are down. The weight of the game is really weighing on them. We've got to go for the kill. Instead, we do the total opposite. Right after that attack, from that point on, we basically didn't attack until City went 2-1 up. Look immediately at our defence. We've gone right back all the way to sit on the edge of our own box. Our midfield's here, and we've gone to pretty much a 4-5-1 with Ekitike as the lone striker, but even he's deep. Cherki's got this ball, he's just dancing around on it. No one's worrying about tackling him. Look at the intensity drop off from what I've just been showing you. No one's anywhere near the ball. We're not really stopping anybody getting on it. We're not tight to anybody. We completely dropped our intensity level, and this, I think, comes from the coach. I think this is a clear tactic. We're going to protect the lead. We're going to conserve our energy. Now, at this point, he's still made no subs, and I don't necessarily think, the squad is amazing, but I think when you're 1-0 up in a game and you might need fresh legs, Endo could have come on to see the game out. Maybe Curtis Jones could have come on earlier than he did to, freshen it up in the middle for McAllister maybe. There was definitely options. Chiesa could have maybe come on for Gakpo, some fresh legs as an outlet. Nothing happens. We don't make any changes. All we do is we stop playing. And I think this completely comes from the manager who says, sit in, let's try and defend this lead. Because the way we just stopped doing what we were doing that was working well is inexplainable otherwise. Look at Kirkers here on the ball. Think of what he just did just before. Completely leg past Bernardo Silva, and we played. Now he gets the ball. He's got no interest in doing that. No interest in finding the pass. He just boots it up the pitch. Straight to the goalkeeper. And Donnarumma, unbelievably, just gives this ball into the middle. Shirky gets onto it. Look at our defence. They want to retreat. They want to run back. Everyone's running back. Gravenberch's running back. Salah running back. Wirtz running back. Everybody is just retreating. And Shirky just jogs forward all the way to the edge of our box, unchallenged. We just invite this pressure. And I do not know for the life of me why we do this. I honestly do not know. I can't explain it to you, but that is the analysis. We dropped right off. We allowed City to gain confidence in the game again. And, of course, they get a bit of luck. The ball comes in here. Rodri's on it. No one's near him. There's not enough pressure on this ball. We've got just players stood in the box. I don't know why Gravenberch is so deep. Kirkers, McAllister, Gakpo, Wirtz all in a line, but not really doing much of anything. The ball comes to Shirky. He has all the time in the world to get the ball out of his feet. He puts a cross in. McAllister not doing enough, just waves his foot at it. Blocks it, sure, only a little bit, but Haaland first to the ball, wins this header, and Szoboszlai, you just see, this is why it's such a shame he has to play right back, because he just switches off for a second. It's not the natural right back instinct in him to, clear out with your defensive line. He's looking right across. He's got to do better. I completely agree. This is why he didn't get a 10 in the match ratings, but he plays Bernardo Silva onside, and he gets the ball and he scores a goal. Now, Liverpool get the ball with Alisson just after City have equalised, and you're thinking, all right, let's get the ball again, let's play, let's try and get back in front. But again, we're so frazzled at this point. We've committed so much to sitting back and defending. We can't get ourselves going again. And Alisson just makes a terrible, terrible decision. Just decides to go quick, kicks the ball long, straight to nobody. We've stopped playing. We've got no one. Look at the distance between our players. There's no one anywhere near. We just give up. We give up playing the football that we were playing that got us in the position to be winning. I think this is a managerial issue. I really do think this comes from the coach saying, guys, stop doing what you're doing. We're going to sit in. And I might be wrong. But that's the way I see it anyway. City take ground again. Liverpool still sat on the edge of their own box. No one's putting enough pressure on the ball. Look, Bernardo Silva this time with his foot on it. All the time in the world. It comes to Shirky. He chips the ball over the top for Mateus Nunes. Alisson comes out and fouls him. And they get the penalty, which they then went on to win the game with. And that, I'm going to finish off the analysis for today's video. Alright guys, that is going to do it for today's video. I really do hope that you did enjoy it. And if you did, please do drop a like on the video. We're trying to get to 30 likes on every single one. So if you can help me get there by clicking that like button, that would be much, much appreciated. We're also trying to get to 500 subscribers. So if you did enjoy it and you are new around here, please do click subscribe and help me get closer. We're getting closer with every video. So that would be much appreciated. Thank you very much to everyone who does that. Podcast listeners, 5-star rating and reviews, follow the show, all that good stuff. You know what to do by now. Guys, this video obviously is coming out on Tuesday night. We play tomorrow against Sunderland on Wednesday. So there will be no preview. I just simply ran out of time to make all the videos necessary and I prioritised this one over the Sunderland preview. So I hope you enjoyed this one. I'll be back obviously with the ratings tomorrow for Sunderland. I just felt this one there was more to get our teeth into. And whilst we don't analyse, the absolute madness with the referees at the end, if you want to hear my thoughts on that, go back and watch the match ratings. We talked lots about referees in there. I hope that you got your sort of your fair share of analysis in this one, like I said, from the story of the game as we walk through. Really disappointing to lose again, but I hope you did enjoy the video. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching. I'll see you in the ratings tomorrow. I'm not looking forward to the game, but the ratings will be there after it, as always. Thanks for watching, everyone. Goodbye.